the Innovation Awards. I guess you can call it a ceremony for the best and coolest tech that I saw in 2024. This does not mean I reviewed all of these products, if any of them. It's basically just showing my impressions toward every tech product I saw this year. I split these awards into many different categories, and each category gives an award to a different type of tech. So, with that, let's dive right into it. Starting off strong, the best smartphone of 2024. And even though this is the first category, this is a hard one, truly a hard one. Hundreds, if not thousands, of phones come out every year, and for each new one released, that much more content is uploaded to platforms all around. So after seeing maybe a few hundred videos about smartphones myself, what is my pick for 2024? But first, how do I define the best phone, the most innovative phone of the year? Well, I would say it would be the phone I want the most, and the phone that most people would probably want the most. Now, obviously, iPhone 16 Pro, right? This is a great phone that most people would probably buy because, of course, it's an iPhone. You get all the perks of iOS like iMessage, AirDrop, and FaceTime with basically no trade-offs. The base model iPhone 16 too. There are less differences than ever before between the base model and the Pro, as it is also such a capable device. But there is so much more to life than an iPhone, especially considering that it feels like there weren't that many new features on the iPhone 16 Pro compared to the iPhone 15 Pro. So how about Galaxy S24 Ultra? We're talking about the most solid all-rounder that basically has no problems, outlasting nearly the best of phones when it was only released at the start of the year. But it still doesn't feel like it gets the award, as Galaxy AI, even though not the entire upgrade for the phone, is also available on many previous Samsung phones as well. Innovation is changing the way that we think of something, not making something old seem better or new. With that in mind, it's safe to say that the Vivo X200 Pro or the Oppo Find X8 Pro are both very strong contenders. They've basically nailed everything, from the camera specs to the stunning battery life. These two phones have literally everything. These are solid options, but they yet still didn't get my award. No, my Innovation Award for the best smartphone of 2024 is going to the Pixel 9 Pro. Dang, this phone is incredible. Obviously, new design, which absolutely rocks. New AI features, following the trend of every smartphone in 2024. And multiple cherries on top, such as the promised 7 years of software support and the new ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. This phone is absolutely amazing, and I have no regrets giving it the Phone of the Year award. At the end of the year, this would be the phone that I would consider getting myself the most, and the one that definitely has been a big step up from its predecessor. Of course, we can't just count the best phone, as they can be quite expensive, with phones like the Pixel 9 Pro being $1,000. So you guessed it, my next Innovation Award is going to the best value smartphone of the year. And what do I mean by value? I'm talking about the phone that gives you the most for your money, something affordable that some may say feels like a very high-end phone. And this year, of all years, it feels like mid-range and value phones are getting more features than ever before, letting some flagship features like dual camera setups, along with high refresh rate screens, trickle down to a more budget-conscious price point. So, with that, it's easy to say that if you live in the US, there are 3 really great options. One is the CMF Phone 1 by Nothing that offers a 50 megapixel wide camera, a 120Hz adaptive refresh rate, Apple, you should be taking notes, and a first that we've never seen much before on phones, a modular design. All this for $239? It's safe to say this is great value, alright. But if you want something a bit beefier, you could get the big brother, the Nothing Phone 2A, which gives you a 50 megapixel ultra-wide camera, a higher resolution selfie camera, and those flashy cool glyph lights that seem a little extra, but hey, it's at least a cool feature, right? You can get this phone for $349. If you want something even better than that, you can go with the Pixel 8a, which is the mid-range phone I would want the most in 2024. This phone includes definitely the best camera of any mid-range phone, and of course that amazing stock Android experience, which I much prefer over Nothing's software skin. Even though many criticize the fact that it has quite chunky bezels, in day-to-day use, I'd say if you had this phone, you'd barely notice. Paired with most of the AI features that the Pixel 9 has, this phone will not disappoint. But that still doesn't get my Innovation Award. Notice that earlier I said US. But the Innovation Award for the Best Value Phone of 2024 is going to a phone not available in the US, which is where I live. Earlier, I figured that because of this fact, I would just give the award to the Pixel 8a. But this isn't a buying guide. This is a ceremony. A ceremony, like I mentioned before. So, bearing that in mind, my best value phone of 2024 goes to the Xiaomi 14T. This phone nails it all. It has a 144Hz dynamic refresh rate, a triple camera system with a wide, ultra-wide, and telephoto, 67-watt wired charging, very thin bezels, and is encased in a beautiful squared-off design. It does have a few problems, like the lack of wireless charging and Xiaomi's bloatware-filled HyperOS. But otherwise, this is, dare I say, flagship killer. You've got everything you need in a phone and nothing more. So that's why I'm giving this phone the trophy for the best value phone of 2024. Now, before you sigh, we do have one more phone-related category. The last one, I promise, which is the best folding phone of 2024. Just like value phones and budget phones, the folding phone market has grown a lot within the past few years, with things starting out rough and now going all the way to a triple folding phone from Huawei. Things have gotten a lot better from the first-gen foldables, not to the point where they can become mainstream, but not that far off as they used to be. Now, Samsung has dominated this market for years with their Z Fold and Z Flip series of phones, so they definitely deserve a shout-out, especially with their Flip series, as it feels like you're just getting more than you get with the Fold series. Also, for the clamshell-styled foldables, a shout-out to the Razer Plus 2024, just because of that full cover screen experience. But this year, unlike any other smartphone categories, the Innovation Award for the best foldable smartphone of 2024 was obvious, and it was book style, not clamshell style. This year, the best foldable of 2024 had to be the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Just wow, such a big comeback story. You remember the first Pixel Fold, not only the one with chunky bezels, but also a chunky design and wide aspect ratio. The one with the curved sides. The one that seemed like an off-season April Fool's joke. Yeah, if you bought that one, I'd probably fall out of my chair with laughter. The price point was terrible for everything you were offered. So when Google made their second-gen foldable, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, I think everybody got a very pleasant surprise to find out not only did they flatten all the side rails, but they also made the phone much less wide, made the bezels much more even, and of course, slapped the AI glory on top of it. This phone is a big step up in every single way compared to the first-gen Pixel Fold, and that's why it deserves this award. Except for the name, like, what's Pixel 9 Pro Fold? This phone is pretty great, alright. And I would not try to hold in any more laughter if you told me you bought this, which is a pretty big compliment. Finally, moving away from smartphones, my next category is the best tablet of 2024. At first, when they were just unveiled, tablets were this amazing new product. But now, many people see a super high-end tablet as useless because you could get everything a computer needs, but without computer software. You would get everything a phone needs, but is not compact enough to store in your pocket. The situation is awkward. Nonetheless, hundreds of tablets still came out this year, and before I say the winner, a shout out to the Galaxy Tab S10 Plus. You get an anti-reflective screen, new AI features, where most are available on the Tab S9 series too, and of course, comes with an S Pen, which I don't think I personally use that much, but it's nice to know you have it. While wielding a hefty price, if you're an Android user, this is probably your best choice. That said, the best tablet is still an iPad. The best tablet of 2024 is the M4 iPad Pro. Look, I'm I'm just as sick of Apple dominating the tablet space every year as you are, but they just kind of do it the best out of everyone. And this year, we finally got a design change after waiting 2 years. A new tandem OLED that is the brightest and best ever, the thinnest Apple product Apple has ever made, and of course, the debut of the M4 chip wipes other tablets completely out. Along with a revamped Magic Keyboard with function keys and an aluminum body, we got a completely new Apple Pencil Pro with barrel roll, the ability to press on the neck for shortcuts, and finally, haptic feedback. Even though Samsung DeX and things like that are great if you want to use your tablet like a computer, the iPad Pro M4 dominates the tablet market this year, yet again. On the topic of computer operating systems, my next award to give out is the Best Laptop Award for 2024. To define the best computer, we need a fast machine that has a crisp display, a premium feel, and something that has truly changed about it. And yes, right now it sounds like I'm describing a MacBook, but this year, the MacBook Air and Pro didn't really receive any big upgrades, and it was mostly only the chip. So now, with Macs out of the way, what are some interesting laptops I saw this year? Well, the Microsoft Surface laptop was definitely interesting, a machine we all knew we needed, but finally just got this year after the market was dominated for such a long time by the MacBook Airs of the world. It has much thinner bezels, elegant rounded corners for the display, a new haptic trackpad, and of course, the insanely powerful Snapdragon X Elite chip. This is probably the laptop I would want the most this year as a content creator, if not a Mac. But this laptop didn't really introduce that much we've never seen before and just upgraded a lot from its predecessor. So I'm gonna say that it doesn't deserve this award. In fact, nobody will probably guess which laptop I chose for this award. Because the most innovative laptop, in my opinion, of 2024 is the ZenBook Duo. First displayed at CES this year, this is the first ever dual screen laptop. This, guys, is what I truly call innovation, taking things up a notch and to the next level. Once you open it, of course, you have your keyboard at the bottom, but then you lift up your keyboard and then reveal another beautiful 14-inch screen. And this laptop not only is innovative, but also has amazing specs. We've got two gorgeous 14-inch 3K 120Hz 16:10 OLED screens, the best you could ever ask for. We've got the Intel Core i9 Ultra, the most high-end chip from Intel, paired with a starting price that includes 32GB of fast RAM and 1TB of storage. This laptop is truly insane, blowing quite possibly every other award I'm handing out today out of the park with how innovative and crazy it is. If I had a choice, I would still get the Surface laptop or MacBook Air, but dang does this thing push boundaries. Alright, I've calmed down just in time for the best desktop of 2024. And I know how I've rambled on for every other award I've handed out, but this one is different. And I'm gonna say it immediately because there is no question that the M4 Mac Mini was the best desktop released this year. And yes, I know I said earlier that MacBooks barely improved, but this is different. This is the Mac Mini. I have to admit how incredibly small this machine is. With a new design, new ports, and a new chip, this isn't just the best desktop. It's also the best value desktop too. Just starting at $599 for basically everything you would need in a computer is pretty insane. And considering how compact it is, this is without a doubt the most impressive desktop released this year. On to the next category, wearables. Specifically, smartwatches. And this one took quite a bit of debating. Now, I'm just saying, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, then get the Apple Watch. If you're in the Android ecosystem, get anything other than an Apple Watch, basically. And even after 1 year, the Apple Watch Ultra 2 is still a strong contender for the best watch of the year. But that's boring, because it was released in 2023 and definitely doesn't deserve this award. And then there's the Apple Watch Series 10. And there were rumors. There were serious rumors that the 10th anniversary of the Apple Watch would be this total redesign with a new band system and everything. But disappointingly, the Series 10 is yet just another marginal upgrade. Let me think of all the upgrades off the top of my head. Wide-angled OLED, which to me, I could barely see a difference in the stores. Playing media straight from the device, which just, why would you want to do that? New colors, obviously. A barely bigger screen, which actually from some videos I saw is actually slightly smaller than the Series 9. A thinner body, which you would not notice in day-to-day use. Sleep apnea detection, which is useful, but is also available on the Series 9 and Ultra 2. A new always-on display that takes for the second hands, that works with only two watch faces. And that's all I could think of. And while it may seem like I'm trying to roast Apple right now, this is the bitter truth. And I know we all could have appreciated something a little more, but there were no more things. Yes, I'm rambling again. Should I just get straight to the point? For an Apple user, the Watch Ultra is still the best. But overall, if you want a great smartwatch, my pick is the Galaxy Watch Ultra. Now, stop me if you've heard this already, but the Galaxy Watch Ultra seems to be pushing it in the way that it's copying nearly everything found on the Apple Watch Ultra. But is that really a bad thing? After all, we're the consumers, the people who get to benefit from companies copying each other, which in turn makes them both better. So, that means a shortcut button, just like the Apple Watch Ultra, double tap, just like the Apple Watch Ultra, a titanium body, just like the Apple Watch Ultra, sapphire protecting the display, just like the Apple Watch Ultra. Point is, it has basically taken everything from the Apple Watch Ultra, but with different software, and quite frankly, a different design choice, a weird design choice, with a circular screen and a square body, which means it's not as practical as a rectangle screen, nor as elegant looking as a circular screen. Nevertheless, this is still an amazing ruggedized watch, and is more cheap than the Apple Watch Ultra. Now, onto a different type of wearable, earbuds. Just like with smartwatches, I'm going to say this again, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, get AirPods. If you're in the Google ecosystem, get Pixel Buds. If you're in the Samsung ecosystem, get the Galaxy Buds. But if you want my true opinion, for any of the ecosystems, I have not one, but two picks for the best earbuds of 2024. Before that though, some honorable mentions. Mainly because these earbuds offer near flagship performance, all while staying under $100. These are the Earphone Air Pro 4 and the OnePlus Buds 3. Both solid all-rounders that you should get if you don't need the best of the best. But also, you should consider the Soundcore Liberty 4 NC, released last year, but still a strong and well-rounded earbud. But if you want something even cheaper at $70, consider the Soundcore P40i, another solid all-rounder. Alright, I'll talk no further. My favorite two earbuds this year were the Soundcore Liberty 4 Pro, another great value earbud, and the AirPods 4 ANC. Let's start with the Liberty 4 Pro. When I first saw these earbuds, I was shocked at the reviews online and the incredible specs, all for a price of $129. For that, you get excellent ANC, very good transparency, great sound quality, awesome swipe and pinch controls, and the amazing Soundcore app, and so much more. Apparently, the spatial audio is a bit laggy, but hey, let's be real, you can't have everything. These are great earbuds. This year, I considered buying a new pair of earbuds because I really wanted ANC and a refreshed feature set coming from the AirPods 2 that I share with my brother. So, for a holiday gift, I considered getting some of the budget-friendly options, like stated before, and then saw the Liberty 4 Pro, an absolutely amazing bud. But there was one little problem. They had ear tips. As someone who has never liked ear tips before and found them deeply uncomfortable, I gotta say, this completely ruined my chances of getting them. So, being someone in the Apple ecosystem, naturally, I tried the AirPods 4 with ANC. And to be quite honest, I was blown away. These are truly a feat of engineering, as I have no idea how they have made the sound quality and active noise cancellation performance so amazing. All this without a seal? I was like, no way! Trust me, I've tried AirPods Pro 2 before, and even though they are definitely better, I'd say the sound and ANC of the AirPods 4 ANC are maybe 80% there. Combined with natural transparency, super convenient Apple Watch charging, a speaker on the case, and a case you can barely feel in your pocket, you could say I was quite jazzed with the decision that I made. I have a review coming up for these, so definitely check that out when it's released. Now, if you want to listen to music without something stuffed in your ear, you're gonna love my next category, the best over-ear headphones. And this year, I'm gonna be honest, the selection in general wasn't that great, but I still have to hand out an award. And this time, I'm not gonna speak much, as it was pretty clear the Sonos 6 were the best headphones that came out this year. As a first-gen product from a company that makes speakers, it was an interesting addition to the headphone market. It boasts decent sound quality and pretty good ANC, packaged in a sleek design. After hearing many reviews, it doesn't sound like it seems insanely good, but I'm gonna be honest, the selection this year overall wasn't that great, and these were still the best. Also though, a shout out to the Sony Alt-Wear, again, like usual for its great value, packing great sound quality and decent ANC. Another well-rounded product. Now onto a category that seems really new, virtual and augmented reality headsets. And being a relatively new addition to consumer tech, this one is interesting. But what do you mean by the best, you ask? Do you mean the one most people should buy? The very best one, or the one that seems the best but probably still isn't available in retail? Instead, I'm gonna say the winner for all three of these. First up, the best one for most people. And this one was pretty obvious. What we need is a headset that is powerful, can do a lot with its software, and is hopefully standalone, all for a price not too hefty. And you already saw this coming, but this award is no doubt going to the Meta Quest 3S. After years of the VR market being dominated by Meta, this year is again no different. It's crazy, really, how they stuffed some elements from the Quest 3 and some Quest 2 elements all for a retail price of $299. It's funny because recently at one of my friends' houses, I actually tried the Quest 3S, and even though the resolution and display could have been better, I was very impressed with what it could do. Okay, Alex, but what if you wanted something truly the best with no compromises? And this one is also pretty obvious. If you are one of the 3 people in the whole world who could afford it, I'm sure that your experience with the Apple Vision Pro was absolutely stunning. At $3,500, you could buy nearly 12 Quest 3Ss. But is it really 12 times better? Well, the short answer is no. But it has a much more powerful chip, a much higher resolution display, and much more impressive software, especially with the floating windows that stay in place and the literal shadows they show on the ground of your room. There is one area, though, where the Quest 3S is actually better, and that is games. See, Apple and Meta have advertised their mixed reality headsets quite differently. While Meta advertised their Quest headsets for games, the Vision Pro, on the other hand, was advertised for not only its incredible specs, but also for working, browsing, and watching movies, things like that. And for those things, the Vision Pro is definitely better. But this all really depends on what you need. Now, I'm 12 years old, and you have to be 13, sadly, to try the Vision Pro in stores. And except for my mom complaining about how it was making her dizzy, my parents' experience was pretty awesome overall. And one thing in particular they really liked were the spatial videos. Okay, those headsets you can all buy, but what's the headset that's the best? Like overall, maybe you can't even buy it. And this was another easy decision. This year, AR glasses have really taken off, and once again, Meta has captured the most people with their new Orion glasses. But Snapchat's spectacles and Google's Android XR glasses are also quite similar, so let's talk about them. In something that seems completely new to this world, AR glasses have seemed to advance a lot this year, displaying technologies we've never seen before, doing things that a Vision Pro can do, but in a much smaller form factor. And while it is true that these will be stupid expensive once they release to customers, they do seem very impressive. And while they all have their own problems, like the Snap spectacles having really low resolution and the Meta Orion not having a wide enough angle of view, I think this is a significant first step in the world of AR glasses, or as Apple would say it, spatial computing. Now that we're done handing out awards, part 2, yes, there are 2 parts, is highlighting some of the most insane tech I saw in 2024, as well as mentioning some other products that are not categories in the awards. I'm gonna speed run through each tech product. Samsung's new Galaxy Ring is a first-gen product by Samsung that not only charges in a really cool glowing case, but can also work in tandem with a Galaxy Watch to give you even more accurate sensor data. And also, because it's made by Samsung, you can use it to snooze alarms or act as a camera shutter for your Galaxy phone, which is pretty cool. Also by Samsung, a transparent TV has just been made. It was shown at CES this year and has 4K resolution with a 120Hz micro LED display. And considering that their 110-inch non-transparent TV with the same specs costs an absolutely bonkers $150,000, it's safe to say this TV will carry an even more hefty price. Shifting gears to something completely different, OpenAI has demoed something this year that is already available to Plus users. The ability to ask about the world around you using a mix of live camera footage and conversation mode. I've tried it out since my mom is a Plus user, and while not perfect, it is very useful for things like asking what a species an organism is, identifying the model of a car your friend has, or asking it how you could dress better. Again, relating to OpenAI, video generation tools this year have also really taken off, with OpenAI's Sora and Google's even better Veo 2 being released. Also though, we've seen some generative AI video editing tools, such as removing objects in a video enabled by the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip, which is a feature I'm really hoping to see integrated into phones' photo apps next year. My only concerns with this is that it would probably take a really long time, considering things like Google's Magic Eraser and Apple's Cleanup both take a few seconds to process. This year, Apple sadly didn't refresh their AirPods Pro, but they did add a pretty groundbreaking feature, hearing assistance on AirPods Pro 2. My grandfather struggles with slight hearing loss in both ears, so my parents bought these earbuds in hopes of helping him hear better. And while obviously not perfect, coming from him, these definitely helped him hear better. I even tried them on, and I could feel the sound around me getting boosted by quite a lot. Next, humanoid robots. You remember the beloved Atlas robot that got abused but could get right back up and keep doing things like parkour? Yeah, this year it was retired and a new version was introduced, along with countless other humanoids from Tesla, Unitree, and more. NVIDIA even got in on the fun, training many robots on something called Project Groot, a foundation model for humanoids. But all of this is nothing compared to the top 3 tech I saw in 2024. First up, we have a tri-folding phone from Huawei, and even though Huawei is obviously banned in the US, multiple US reviewers managed to get their hands on it, and it is impressive. First of all, it's kind of hard to describe how thin it is when folded out. A mere 3.6 millimeters and only 12.8 when folded. The best thing about a triple folding phone though, is that you can actually take advantage of the wider aspect ratio compared to a traditional book style foldable. You see, with traditional foldables, you have to optimize the displays for both smartphone type use and tablet type use. But when it is folded out like a tablet, it is like a square, which means you aren't actually getting a lot out of your extra screen. But this, on the other hand, has a much wider rectangular aspect ratio, which means you can enjoy content much better here. All of this comes at the hefty price of $5,000 if you're in the US. Now, into the top 2. And I'm going to start this off with the very recent new quantum chip made by Google. This chip is called Willow, and hey, I don't know anything about computer chips, but I know that if this quantum computer can solve a problem in 5 minutes that takes the world's fastest supercomputers 10 septillion years, it's pretty impressive. That's literally all you need to know, how insanely fast this chip is. So let's jump right to number 1. The biggest development in technology I saw this year was, you guessed it, artificial intelligence, specifically 3 factors: large language models, or LLMs, multimodal input, and generative capabilities. This year, more than ever, the development of AI has blossomed in front of our eyes, with every tech company advertising how groundbreaking their new AI chatbot is, or smartphone integrated AI, or heck, even AI generated video, like I mentioned earlier. So with that, who do I think is doing AI the best, the most justice? This whole video, I rambled on and on about possible options, but this seemed pretty clear to me. Google. Not only do they have a chatbot that could compete against ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot, but they also have a generative model for images, a generative model for video that is better than any of OpenAI's, smartphone intelligence that spans throughout every phone that runs Android, and probably the best we've seen so far, and literally everything else to do with AI that's happened this year. Gemini and Project Astra are truly impressive. So that concludes it, the Innovation Awards 2024. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my choices or not. And with that, I'll see you all in 2025. Oh boy, it's gonna be 2025. Alexplained, signing out for the last time this year.